Nobody talks about this part of GoHighLevel agencies, and it's the reason why most people quit and never find success. Everyone loves watching videos about cool services that you can build. AI agents, smart websites, reputation management, automation systems, and the list goes on and on. But when you need to actually land your first client to start making money, the honeymoon phase and the excitement goes away, and a lot of people are like, wait, now what? Today I'm gonna break down what I call my 25 by 25 by 25 method. And this is what I would do to land my first client or even my next client if I'm still building momentum in my agency. I'm gonna show you real life examples during this video, so after you watch this, you can go out, apply it, and land your next client. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so this is the framework. Every single day, you're gonna be focusing on 75 high quality touches across 3 different channels. Not forever, but just long enough to gain momentum. Now here's the 3 channels: 25 calls per day, 25 personalized videos sent every single day, and 25 social touches every single day. So like I said, in this video, we're gonna break down each method and give real life examples. But first, I wanna talk about why most agencies fail so you can get in the right mindset before you jump into this 25 by 25 by 25 method. So here's the problem with about 90% of aspiring agency owners. They watch a YouTube video, they get really excited, they spend weeks building the perfect setup in HighLevel, and then they finish, they're spending money on these softwares, and they realize they have no clients. So they start outreach, maybe for a week, maybe for a month if they're semi-disciplined. They don't get a lot of traction, and then they quit. And that's why so many people say the agency space is starting to get saturated. And honestly, it is, but only for the 90% of people who are stuck in that honeymoon phase. If you can push past that initial excitement or honeymoon phase, it gets way less saturated than you think. Most agencies don't fail because their service is bad. They fail because there's no consistent outreach. But you have to remember, this is the price of admission if you want momentum. All right, so let's go ahead and start with method number 1, which is calling. And I always like to start out with this because it's probably the one that people are a little bit terrified to do. And I get it. The first time I cold called, I was absolutely terrified. But I just want to give you some tips and tricks and actually walk you through a real life example script of what this can sound like so you can find success. But just remember, the mindset that you have to have is fail fast and fail forward. So first things first, how do you find people to cold call, especially if you have no money to invest? If you do have some money, what I would suggest doing is probably going to somewhere like Upwork or Fiverr, and you can pay a really cheap contractor in order to actually pull and scrape data for you to get cell phone numbers of businesses. So if you're going into an industry like more like med spas or orthodontists, that's what I started out with, right? I would definitely suggest that because a lot of the times, if you're just calling these numbers straight on Google, you're just going to get the front desk, right? And half the battle is just getting to the owner themselves to actually book an appointment. But if you have no money to invest, where I would start is think about industries that when you come on Google, when you dial their phone number, right, it's probably going to go directly to the business owner, especially if they're a smaller business and maybe more of like kind of just like a, one-man show or a one person show with, just a few employees that, that they hire out as well. So anyway, think about that. And for instance, I'll just do plumbers near me. And I will always usually scroll down to businesses that are like in the bottom half of the first page. Because what I'm looking for is businesses that have good star ratings, right? They're doing good work. But again, maybe they are not at the top when it comes to, their service offering in their area with, amongst their competitors. So look for the phone numbers, give them a call, and then typically, the businesses will answer. So think about those type of industries. Now let's jump into the actual cold calling script and talk about what a good cold call looks like so you can go make a successful call to land a meeting and hopefully your first sale. All right, so this is an example outline of a cold call script that you can follow. These are all linked to my community down below, but feel free to copy this one exactly as you see it on screen. So let's talk about the outline. First thing, again, mindset. Cold calling sucks. That's why it works. So remember, you're going to fail fast, fail forward, like I mentioned before. But this is the key. Be human, be conversational, and always lead with value. And it's totally okay if you start with just a verbatim script when you're first getting started, but kind of learn how to, have a few bullet points laid out of the value you're going to bring to the business, and then just be more human about it, right? If you're robotic and you're scripted, people are probably going to hang up, really quickly. And now this is the flow, right? The intro, state your purpose, discovery questions, value proposition, and call to action. So I'm not going to read these scripts verbatim. Again, they're on the screen. Feel free to copy them if you want like a really good intro. But I'm actually going to go back to the plumber example that we just had, and I'm just going to
do a real life example for you so you can see what it would sound like cold calling, a plumber near you, or what other industry that you're focusing on. Hey, I was taking a look at your Google business page and just looking for different plumbers in the area. And I actually noticed that, there's quite a few plumbers that are ahead of you right now when it comes to Google. What are you doing right now to boost your Google listing to try to get into that top 2 or 3 spots there in order to drive more business, right? Ask a question, right? Try to start and initiate a conversation. From there, be conversational, be human, and then finally give a solution, right? Have a value proposition. Say something along the lines of, hey, I know I said I'm going to keep this short because I was calling you out of the blue. Really simply, we actually offer a service where we can actually quickly get you more 5-star reviews using your existing customer base that you already have, and then setting up automations in order to get new 5-star reviews from every single job that you're doing every day. Great opportunity to get up there with some of the big wigs in your area, just like Salt Lake Plumbing or Just Right Plumbing that typically rank at the top. Would you have a quick 15 minutes maybe next week where I could walk you through this? And, if you find value, great. And if not, no harm, no foul. At least you know what's out there to help your business. Would you be opposed to that? Right? Boom. Call to action at the end. So that's an example of a cold call for reputation management. Now, let's say you want to sell an AI service bot, right? Same exact principles as before, but in this case, I would probably go to their website. And when I came to their website, I would just look at 2 things, right? Number 1, do they have a chat bot here, which it doesn't look like this one does. And then 2, and you would know this when you called them, right? You could call them and see, does it go directly to the business owner? Or if not, and they missed your call, is there a forwarding agent that can take the call? So an AI agent that can handle the phone call for them, right? So same exact principle as before, right? I could call the business owner. I could say, hey, business owner, I was taking a look at your website. Great work, by the way. It looks amazing. I just want to quickly reach out to you. I was looking for plumbers in the local area here, and I work with a lot of different local home services. And I just noticed there's actually not a way to contact you on your website with like a little chat bot. I saw you had like a contact us button right up here in the top right on your website. But have you ever thought about implementing a chat bot before so people can get a hold of you a little bit easier, right? And just ask them a question. And then once again, lead with a value prop. Okay, yeah, totally. Like, know that you have that contact page there. Well, let me tell you this. Like, I reached out to you because, like I said, I was looking for a plumber, and I actually build AI agents for different home service businesses, including just AI chatbots. So essentially, what it can do is anytime someone visits your website, it is proactive in prompting them to ask questions and book an appointment, so that it can actually book an appointment and you can convert that traffic to your website into paying customers. Would love to just build an example one out for you so you can see what this looks like. And, if it helps your business, great. If not, no harm, no foul. Would you be opposed to a quick chat next week to see if we could add some more customers to, your day-to-day schedule? And then boom, low pressure. I'm trying to be human, trying to provide value. And then same exact thing with the, AI agent, right? I could do the same exact thing, but do like a phone call or AI agent example as well.
Real quick, I hope you're enjoying this video. I just wanted to point out some resources in the description below. There's actually a free trial to the HighLevel platform that you can sign up for. When you sign up using that link, I actually give you access to all my automations, my templates, my AI agents, my websites, and everything else in between, so you can have a much faster start than what I had in the beginning. Anyone who signs up using that link also gets access to our Freedom Formula community, which is a great place to come together with other aspiring agency owners as we continue to scale and build our agencies together. There's also a free course and a direct link to join the community directly if you're already on HighLevel. So I really hope this helps you out. Now let's get back to the video.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to 25 method number 2, which is personalized videos every single day. So I'm going to talk about 2 methods here, depending on what type of industry that you're serving. But this is one of the best ways to get high response rates when you're not calling people, right? Because obviously you can go and blast emails in the background, right? And I would do that to this day, right? Like get a list of emails, thousands of emails, blast them out. You're bound to get some responses, right? It's a numbers game. You're going to find someone that's just like the perfect timing. They want exactly what you want, and they respond with they're interested. But when you're doing your more front end motions, more manual work, how can you make such a high quality video that your response rate is 15, 20% versus the typical 2 to 3% that you might see off of a cold email? So, and that's with personalized videos. So I'll use the same example that I'm using before here. And I'm using a software called Loom right now to film this YouTube video, right? Just screen recording. And what I will do is I will actually look up businesses, film them a quick Loom, right? 45 seconds to a minute, tell them exactly a very similar style to what I follow in the cold call pitch, right? How I can help their business, lead with value, and just say, let me know if this is worth a chat. Filmed a quick video for you, right? And then the opening line of the email will say something along the lines of, hey, filmed a quick video for you to talk about how we can get you more reviews for your business. Notice you're not ranked in the top 5. Quick 45-second video. Hope it brings you value, right? Whatever it might be. And then in the video, I can just quickly film something that goes like this. Hey, so-and-so, like, want to send you over a quick video. I was actually taking a look at plumbers in the area and noticed that, you're serving a lot of great customers and they're leaving you great feedback. But right now, there's a lot of different plumbers that are actually ranking ahead of you on Google. And really, I think it's not because, your lack of ability to do service. I think you do great work. Really, I think it's just kind of down to the number of reviews that you have right now for your business, which is only 53. We actually work with different home service businesses in the local area, and we have a really great way to use your existing customer base in order to get you more 5-star reviews right off the bat to start moving you up the list, and then also help you get new reviews for every single job that you're completing on a daily basis. We have a really unique way that we actually send a personalized message to your customers in order to, higher the conversion rate when it comes to them leaving reviews. Would you be opposed to a brief 15-20 minute call next week in order to show us how to do this? Thanks so much. And then boom, right? And again, you can make it better than that. You can pop open their website, whatever it might be. But this is an amazing way to, again, grab their attention, because the thing that you want to think about here is there's so many sales emails that they're getting every single day. How do you stick out in their inbox when they open it up every single morning and they have 50 emails, right? So when they see an email that has like a subject line of, hey, filmed a quick video to show how to get you more reviews, it's like, oh, what? Like, who takes the time to do a video for me, right? Not very many people. And so they're much more likely to open it and give a response, in my experience. Now, let's talk about method number 2, which, again, depending on the industry that you're serving, this might work better. But going on Facebook, LinkedIn, and actually sending quick videos using your phone. So what I will do is I will actually look up people on LinkedIn or Facebook. So real quick, just to give you another idea of how you could do this, like, you can come to LinkedIn, right, and search dentist or something like that, right? Whatever the industry might be. And this is a great way to get a hold of those people that you might not be able to get a hold of as easily with phone calls, right? So you got to kind of think about the industry that you're serving. So what I would do is I would go in, and I have this blurred again for privacy reasons, but I would literally just go in, connect with all these different people, because they work in that industry. And then as they would accept my connection request on my phone, you can actually quickly go in and send them a quick personalized video just via a DM. So yeah, I would just come in here, film a quick video, right? Just to kind of do exactly what I did with the Loom video right there, but film a quick selfie video, send it over to them. And then I would just send a message that would say something along the lines of, hey, I know you probably get lots of messages. Hope this sticks out to you. Let me know your thoughts, whatever it might be. And again, same principles, right? I'm leading with value. I'm doing a quick recording, or maybe I'll flip the camera around, show their business, what I'm trying to offer to them, what problem I can solve for them, and good things will happen. So think about those methods, sending quick personalized videos. If you can do 25 of those every single day, right? Via email, via, LinkedIn, whatever it might be. And you combine that with 25 phone calls, now the snowball's rolling, you're starting to gain a momentum, and good things can happen. All right, let's talk about the last 25 method, which is social DMs. Now, there's going to be 2 parts of this. 1, interacting and connecting with people on Facebook groups, and then 2, DMing Instagram pages every single day as well. So when you come into Facebook, what I would suggest doing, and if you want to create a different Facebook page to use for business, you absolutely can. That's what I do. You can actually just start joining groups. So I can come into here, and again, I would start in your local area. So I just did Utah cleaning services, right? So for home cleaning services, commercial cleaning, whatever it might be. And then I will come down here, scroll down, and I'll see different types of groups. So you have public groups, private groups. As a bonus tip, I would look for private groups because usually there's less spam in them. And in my experience, if you can get into a private group, again, make sure you follow all the rules. You're not being too salesy or anything like that. But you can have a lot better interaction with the individuals that are on there. But let me go ahead and just click into one of these groups right here. And when I come down here, you'll see a lot of people are actually like advertising their businesses, right? Like, hey, we're a cleaning company. This is what we do. This is our services that we offer. And what's kind of neat about this is you can see right off the bat, these are people who are, I wouldn't say desperate, but like they want advertising, right? They're getting out there, they're trying to advertise their business. And so a lot of the times I'll actually click on these pages and do a little bit of research to see, hey, can I go friend the person on Facebook, that owns this business? Because sometimes they'll post like a company page, but sometimes as well, it'll be like an individual, um, that is posting, so this is a post right here, right? Light housekeeping needed. And then all these people are messaging saying like, oh, hey, like, we can offer these services, whatever it might be. Let's go message those people and see how we can best help them. And again, same principles as before, lead with value, um, you know, show them a clip of their service. Maybe you even send them a video, right? You're combining the two methods, whatever it might be, but good things will happen. And then the final thing that I'll say is another thing that you can count as a social post is post value like in these Facebook groups, right? Be a participant in these Facebook groups. A lot of the times I would post case studies for Facebook groups. Let me show you like an example one real fast. All right, so this is an example of one of the first case studies that I ever put together. Probably don't copy this exactly. Again, it's not as pretty as it probably should be, but again, just to show you a starting point, right? This is really real, right? This is where I started with this. And this was, hey, 3 steps to dominating the digital world as an orthodontist or dentist. And essentially what I would do is I would talk about different reviews, the benefit of ads, and my big selling point that, again, this is probably a little bit more, well known across, different industries now, but I would talk about how Apple Maps was actually tied to Yelp. And so how important it was to actually make sure that your reputation was good on Google, Yelp, while running ads on Facebook as well. So you're kind of taking a 3-pronged approach in order to get all the clientele needed. So anyway, I would put this case study together. And then what I would do is I would post it in the Facebook group and I would just say, hey, I put this interesting case study together about how to dominate in the digital world as an orthodontist or a dentist. Hope you all find it helpful. I wasn't asking for a sale. I wasn't asking for anything, but it was free advertisement on my part because I was giving value. But then in return, people would start asking me questions, commenting on the posts, and then I can start engaging in conversations that way as well. So again, different ways that you can count these 25 social touches every single day in order to drive results. Now, that's the Facebook method, right? Focusing on Facebook groups. But now let's switch over to the Instagram side of it as well to finish this off. All right, let's talk about the final part of this, which is Instagram DMs. Again, really easy, quick way that you can send out, a batch of at least 25, right? You could even do more. I mean, I would sit there at night and watch a show and just send out like 100 of these every single night. There is a limit of 100 that you can send per day typically, but I would just type in the industry that I wanted to serve, right? So say plumbers, orthodontists, house cleaning, right? These are some different examples that I've used throughout this video. I would type in the city and then I would just type in Instagram. And then boom, here's all the Instagram accounts of plumbers in this area. And I would just boom, one by one. You could hold down Command or Control F and just open, 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 and then go in and just send quick DMs to each one of these businesses. And this is a little bit more of like a high volume, right, type of approach. But again, when you're sitting there and you're not doing anything and you're watching a show, what's better, scrolling on social media mindlessly or just sending out some drip messages, over and over again on your laptop real fast. And again, is this one as effective as maybe like the Facebook groups or the Loom videos or LinkedIn videos, whatever it might be? No, right? This is probably falls more into the category of like more mass emailing on the background, but a great way just to keep your outreach up every single day in order just to prompt responses. So I hope this video, I know it wasn't like your typical, this is how you build this out in HighLevel. But I hope this video kind of gave you some ideas of different outreach methods that you can use in order to land your first or your next client on HighLevel. So let's go ahead and finish this up.
All right, I hope you found this video helpful. I know it's not the most fun part of HighLevel when it comes to building an agency, but it is absolutely necessary. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. And finally, if you want to get started with HighLevel, there's actually a free trial linked in the description below. When you sign up using that link, I send over all my automations, my templates, my AI agents, and everything else in between to help you have a much faster start than what I had in the beginning. You'll also get access to our exclusive Freedom Formula community, where it's a group of people that are just coming together that are all building their agencies. We have weekly coaching calls, and you actually get one-on-one access to myself. And I always try to help every single member of the community as much as I can to help them scale their own agency. And finally, please leave a like if you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel because I try to post videos every single week about how I'm scaling my own agency and helping others do so as well. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.